Hey guys, my name's Sterling, this is my dog Lucy. Today, we're gonna give you a full walkthrough of the Big Days Chase Rack setup to show you just exactly how it works and walk you through every single mount so you understand how it mounts to the truck and how you use them. Check it out. So every rack is gonna come with a left riser, a right riser, the handles pre-installed, the badges and the handle grips pre-installed as well, and a lower crossbar and drop brackets. So the full rack includes that assembly right there. This headache rack and these light bar brackets aren't included, but we're going to show you later how those work and how they mount up. So first, with the risers. The risers are pretty straightforward. They have a MOLLE panel design, so you can mount accessories to this. This is all MOLLE panel standard, so you can mount any off-the-shelf MOLLE panel to this. You can find a lot of MOLLE panel mounts on Amazon. Handles are just bolt-on handles, so you can take them off if you really want to. That being said, these attach to this upper bar by 6 screws and a T-nut system. So the upper bar has tracks on top and on bottom on 2 different faces. That means that for when you're bolting it to the risers, there's 3 bolts back here and 3 bolts right here. That allows you to slide the riser along here because of the tracks on the bottom and then slide mounts across on the top. It does include these upper end caps as well that keep water from going into your system. All right, so you've got the 6 bolts on this side, the 6 bolts on this side, and then you have your clamping systems. So right down here, I'm using the standard clamps. Every rack comes with the standard clamps as well as a deck rail clamp, as well as a bolt-on kit if you want to drill holes through your side rails here. But it comes with that bolt-on kit. You can order a tonneau cover kit as well for it to mount into a T-track of a tonneau cover. If you don't have a T-track tonneau cover, you have a normal tonneau cover, as long as you have some bed rail here exposed, you can still bolt the rack into the truck bed on the sides of that tonneau cover. There's going to be 4 holes right here, and then another 4 holes right here. With these 4 holes up front, these 3 are here to give you different spots to mount your clamps to. Now these spots are there because there might be some interference on different areas underneath your truck depending on your truck style. For example, on this GMC Sierra here, there's a little nub right here that I can feel. This allows for me to pick and choose different holes to where to mount this clamp to. On the back side, there's going to be 4 holes here as well. So with these different holes, you can actually position this drop bracket in those different holes. What that does is allows you to pick and choose where this lower bar will sit. So if, for example, if you have a toolbox back here, you can scoot this forward or you can scoot it backwards. Now with the 4 holes here, the main kicker with this is it gives you an option to move this lower bar forward or backwards, depending on how much room you have back here or how long your bikes are. The longer the bike, the further back you want this. But if you have a shorter bike, as long as the back wheel touches this thing, that's the goal. That's what you're shooting for, is for your back wheel to touch this. This gives you variations if you want it. Now, before I dive into each mount specifically, I want to show you how the T-track system works. We use these T-nuts as well as these T-bolts. There you go. With these T-nuts, these are built to slide into the track of that upper crossbar. They're spaced so that they can slide into there, and so you can pick and choose whatever mounts you want to put in that upper crossbar. Now, I'm going to walk you through all of the different mounts that we have and show you how they mount to the rack. So, we have the Moto Ramp as well as the Moto Ramp mounts. We have the bike mount, we have the ski snowboard mounts, the lumber cooler brackets, the dirt bike mount, the headache rack, and then the light bar mount. We'll walk through all of those individually. Let's start with the headache rack and the light bar first. Okay, let's talk about the headache rack. So the headache rack mounts directly into this T-slot on the bottom side of this upper bar. This headache rack is built out of 1/4 inch aluminum and it's built to be sturdy as cuss. The idea with this is it keeps stuff from hitting your back window, but also gives you a spot to strap your gear up so that you can actually store even more stuff in here without it falling out of the back of your truck. On top of that, we did put these cutouts in it so that it gives you ultimate visibility out of the backside of your rearview mirror. Now, you'll notice we have all these little squares here. This is MOLLE panel and built for MOLLE panel accessories. This is awesome. There's so many off-the-shelf things you can get that are MOLLE panel compatible. They have Milwaukee pack-out mounts, they have axe mounts, hammer mounts, tool mounts, water bottle mounts, everything for this. And then if you want to, you can just be redneck like me, and I've just got my shovel here strapped to this. I do a lot of trail building, so I like to have my shovel here 24/7. So I've just got it valet strapped here to the headache rack. Works perfect. This thing doesn't move at all. This thing sits right up here and it goes into that T-track. And this folds down when it's not being used, all right? Built out of 1/4-inch aluminum. So this thing is gonna be rock solid for keeping your dirt bikes up here. I use it for everything. Honestly, my wife and I, we use it for our Surons and our dirt bikes, and it works great. For me, I like to put the Moto mounts off to the sides. That puts my dirt bikes further out to the side so I get more room in the middle for other stuff. Typically, I have one dirt bike mount here, one dirt bike there, and then 3 mountain bikes in the middle. That way I can carry everything. I can usually fill up all 5 of those spots if I really want to. Not sure why I want 3 mountain bikes when it's just the 2 of us, but I do it sometimes. All right, that's the Moto mount. Now with the Moto mount, you'll notice there's these 2 little knobs on the side right here. That's for the Moto Ramp. Moto Ramp is designed to connect into the Moto mount, just like that, right there. So when this is sitting up here, comes down there, pops right there, and allows you to throttle the dirt bike up into here. But one of my favorite parts of this, check this out. This thing, like this, to allow you to store the ramp underneath here without it going anywhere. It includes 2 more belay straps that can go through here to keep that ramp super secure. You'll also see a little hole right here as well as right here. Those holes are so that you can lock your Moto ramp into this so people can't steal it. So if you have like a little gun lock, that gun lock can run through here and through here to lock it to your truck so it can't go walking away. Let's go to the lumber and cooler mounts. These are sweet. These act like, we call them L brackets here. The L brackets are designed to be bookends for anything that you want. The bookends stop things from coming off the side of your truck. Let's check this out. These sit like this. Then these can go wider or narrower. So if you have 2x4s that you want to keep from sliding around in your truck, or if you have a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you can space them out. They have these holes up here that you can put bungees through, tie downs through. That you can strap anything to this. I use these for kayaks myself. So I've done up to 4 kayaks in the bed of this truck with these things right here alone. So what I'd do is I'd use these like bookends to then hold my coolers in place so when I go off-roading to strap them so the stuff can't go sliding around. You can put these on either side too. So I actually had a full-time toolbox, fake toolbox back here that I use these to strap this in with. The ski snowboard mounts, these are rad. What these do is these mount to any surface of the rack that you want it to. It's just that same T-Track stuff. So these can go right here, like this, or they can go right here if you want to. The cool thing is that either of those positions, typically their bikes or dirt bikes won't interfere with your skis and snowboards. So you can mount these at the same time as your skis and snowboards. Not sure why you do that, but if you're living in SoCal or, I don't know, Southern Utah, you can do that. So you can fit up to 6 skis or snowboards in this setup, which is awesome because it keeps your snowboards and your skis from getting the wax scratched off in the bed of your truck and keeps them secure so they don't go flying out of the back. Just another cool little perk of having the rack set up. Next, the bike mount. Bike mount is one of my favorites. I'm a big mountain biker. This is like my favorite part of this whole rack. So if you notice, the bike mount has 2 sets of holes. One is so the bike wheel sits this way, and one is so the bike wheel sits this way. The main reason we want the bikes to sit at the angle like this is so you can fit more. When the bikes are at an angle, you can actually fit up to 6 bikes in a full-size bed, or 5 bikes in a smaller truck like a Tacoma, or 4 bikes in a Maverick, FYI. So now, one reason you want this straight is for fat bike tires. Those will actually sit straight up and down versus the bikes that will slot in here at an angle. You put them straight up and down, and they mount the same way, which is using these pedal straps here, right? Now, we just took my truck to Canada last week, so I've got 6 of these down here because we fit 6 bikes back here. So I've got 6 of these holders. So this right here goes around your pedal and then tightens down the pedal and keeps that bike from going anywhere. This is just a fancy cam buckle strap that allows you to really cinch things down for full-on off-roading. So either way, whether your fat bike is straight up or your normal bike is in a slant, that pedal strap is used to fit everything down to a 20-inch bike if you really want to get down to the smaller kid sizes of bikes. If you're fully packed up with 6 bikes, you want the trays to be about 4 inches from each other. My fingers are not 4 inches, but we'll go with it. But yeah, I usually like to do 4 fingers away from each other. That way you can fit all 6 bikes in here. All right, one pro tip with the bike tray. You didn't hear this from me, but I occasionally will put my Suron in here Now, it's not super stable. I wouldn't recommend like hardcore off-roading with it, but it does work. And it's super easy. Just load your Sur-On. And I've done up to like 4 Sur-Ons back here with the bike trays at the angle because nothing interferes. And it gives you a ton of room back here. I don't Sur-On very often. I use them for trail building mostly, but we won't talk about that. The next one to show you is our Storable bike lock. This right here. This is a 10-foot cable lock that stores in there. So you can have a cable on you at any time to lock up anything. I've used this thing on so many bike rides just because it's there. I keep the actual lock itself, just one that I've got myself, up in the cab. When you order this, it does come with the actual lock itself. Now, 2 honorable mention mounts that we don't have here with us. Mount 1 is what's called the CHMSL, or street name, third brake light mount. We have a third brake light option that will mount into the T-track right here that goes and replaces this CHMSL right here. Not replaces it, but just in case this blocks this, it adds one to the rack so that you can be seen when you're braking. In some states, that is a legal thing that you have to do, but for the most part, it's just for safety. Then lastly is our high lift jack mount. We have a mount that mounts right here to where you can mount your high lift jack. That being said, if you really know off-roading, you know that you have to do a crap ton to your truck to make it high lift jack compatible. AKA if you use your high lift jack on any normal stock truck, you're gonna blow it out. You're gonna bend something in there if you try to use the high lift jack, but hey, it looks sick on your truck. So you can mount one right there if you want to look like an off-roader. Now, let me tell you about my setup. So like I told you before, I typically have 1 dirt bike here, 1 dirt bike here, and then 3 mountain bikes. We took it off for this shoot to show you what the rack looks like without it. But I do love having the headache rack on there as well, because I do a lot of big backcountry stuff where we'll off-road my trucks. Like for example, in Canada last week, we had this thing in 4 low with the bed full of crap and all of our biking gear. And what was it, 6 bikes? Yeah, I think there's 6 bikes up there. So there's 6 bikes up here, all of our crap right here, strapped to the headache rack. We weren't worried about blowing out the back window because when we were crawling, it was like full on slamming into the ground. If we had a hitch rack on, we probably would have lost the bike off the back of the hitch rack. Either way, that's what I love having the headache rack for. I also do like the fact that the risers come up right here. So for me, I stack my crap all the way up as high as I can. That gives me way more room than when I had bikes on over a tailgate pad, anything like that. Best part about this is I do get my hitch back. So if I ever want to tow, I can, which is nice because I can take a camper, I can take a trailer. I actually have an enclosed trailer that I use to camp in. I'll take that to the bottom of the trail, unlatch it, take the truck and all the bikes up the dirt road the next day. We've got the truck with us the whole day, and that thing's still back there. We're not going back to a tent at the end of the day. It's nice. Now, something else to think about is I do a lot of these big backcountry missions, and honestly, this is the only way to do that with this stuff. Is this truck is a basic truck, but honestly, I've gotten so backwoods with this thing because the bikes are in here and all my gear is in here. I don't worry about that stuff. So when 4 low happens, you just go with it. The bikes are here. You don't have to worry about drag and tail on the back of the road. It's been the only way to do things, and I can't stand by it more. That's it for us. This is the Big Days Chase Rack system. Set up your truck the right way so the next time you really want to get backwoods, you're ready to go for it. You're not trying to scramble at the last second to get ready for it.